Here we go. It's the ultimate preview of the MLS Cup that's going to be happening tomorrow. And the reason why it's ultimate is because I'm going to be talking about some of the news heading into this game, and obviously some facts about this game, injury list, and also the keys of winning, and also what's not on the board is the tactics of this game. But before I start this video, I just want to quickly tell you that tomorrow I will be doing a stream. I will do a live match reaction of MLS Cup on this channel, and I will do it at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, which is 30 minutes before the kickoff of this match. And basically, it will be my first stream that I've done in quite a while, so I don't know how it's gonna work out. You know, I'm not really a guy that kind of like do live stream, but it's gonna be interesting. And also, after the live stream, I will do a review of this game, even though I'll technically kind of talk about something right at the end of the game in the live stream that will kind of be repetitive heading into the review. You know, I just want to probably do that because for those that didn't watch the stream or wasn't able to watch the whole stream, then you can of course hear my reaction and my review of the game, and I'll go piece by piece in terms of that. And yeah, that is just some quick news before we dissect into this. But here we are, Atlanta United versus Portland Timbers, and a record of 70,000 fans are expected to be at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which is the biggest crowd ever for a MLS Cup final, surpassing 2002 when the MLS Cup final was in Gillette Stadium, and how they had 62,000. But what's interesting about this time is that I think the atmosphere is going to be even more incredible than what we saw in 2002. I mean, 2002, the league was still pretty new, and, you know, soccer was still kind of a, you know, people still watch it, but it's not like people keep track of it every single week, and it's the interest was still kind of growing in terms of soccer in America. But now it's definitely grown into a point where when you look at a lot of the Atlanta United games, yeah, people really care. Like, people know what is going on, which is why this final is just going to be one of the best final in terms of atmosphere. But talking about some of the facts about this final, there is only 2 meetings between both of these teams in their history. Obviously, the reason why there's only 2 meetings is because Atlanta United was only found a couple of years ago, and since both teams are in different conference, they only play once every year. The only meeting this year ended 1-1 at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but that one was a match where Portland were coming into that match with a lot of injuries, and kind of the same goes with Atlanta United. So it's not going to be a different Portland Timber team than the one that we saw back in June. Although I have a feeling that it's going to be, in terms of the way that it's going to go and in terms of the style of this MLS Cup is going to go, it's probably going to be similar to what happened in June, where it was not pretty to watch. Okay, it was very, very boring at time. The other meeting between both of these clubs also ended 1-1, and that was at Providence Park back in 2016, I believe. Atlanta, of course, they have 77% chance of winning MLS Cup according to 538. And, you know, for those of you that want to bet, there's your betting line right there. Although, to be fair, you know, I think this is a little bit too harsh on the Timbers in terms of the fact that Atlanta is overwhelmingly kind of favorite. No doubt Atlanta is heavy favorites coming into this game, but 77% is a little bit too overwhelmed. I would say maybe Atlanta is 59% favorites and Portland is 41% favorites of winning this. But to just say that they are 77% and the fact that Portland is going to be a serious underdog in this game is just, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Giovanni Savarese is actually appearing in his 5th Cup final in 6 years, winning 4 and lost 1. And the first Cup final that he actually appeared was against an Atlanta team. Although it's not the same Atlanta United, it was back when Atlanta had an NASL team called the Atlanta Silverback, and that Giovanni Savarese New York Cosmo team was able to win 1-0 at Atlanta. So Savarese has already done this before, where he go to Atlanta and able to win a cup final, although it is going to be an entire different kind of feel. I mean, considering the fact that that game, there was only 7,000 people showed up in this game. This game, there's 70,000 people. And also, one thing that I didn't wrote on here is that Tata Martino, in terms of his cup final history, is not very good. Okay, and we know he lost that Copa America a couple of years ago with Argentina, and he did lose, I believe, a cup final when he was at Barcelona, but he does not really have a good cup final history. So certainly if you want to look at cup final history between both of these coaches, which both of these coaches has, Gio definitely has the advantage over that. But Atlanta have not lost at home since May, when they lose 3-1 to the Red Bulls, so they pretty much spent the entire second half of the season at Mercedes-Benz Stadium without a loss, although they did draw a couple of results, which include what happened in June when they drew against the Portland Timbers, which was at 1-1. The injuries for this match, for Atlanta: Sal Zizzo, Mikey Ambrose, Chris McCann, Brendan Vasquez are the guys that is going to be out for this MLS Cup final. And for Portland, Roy Miller, Jake Gleason, Samuel Armenteros are all out for this game. So when you look at injury, it doesn't seem like both teams are missing some big guys. I think one player that is still kind of questionable coming into this game is Larrys Marbiola. Now, Marbiola is not on this list because when I look on MLS Soccer website, they said that he is not on the injury reserve list. But for some reason, when I look at other sources, they said that he's definitely good to go, but he probably will not start. And that is going to be interesting because, remember, Marbiola back, I believe it was the first leg against Sporting KC, he suffered, looked like what would be a season-ending injury. I mean, he had to be stretchered off. It looked like it was a torn ACL injury and that it was a big loss for the Timbers, but it seemed like it wasn't really a bad injury and that he could be back in this game. But most likely he's not going to start because he just got back from this team, and I also heard that he hasn't spent any time in the training session for MLS Cup final. So most likely he's definitely not going to be in the starting 11. And the reason why I said Marbiola in terms of him in MLS Cup for the Timbers and why it's important is because he is one of those players that is very good in that defensive area, and you've seen how when the Timbers does not have Marbiola in there, yeah, that defense gets a little bit kind of shaky. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see whether or not if he's going to be playing in this game and coming off as a sub. In other news, some things that is kind of, it's still related to MLS Cup but might not be very important. Alan Kelly will be the main referee for this match, and Kelly is definitely one of the better referee in this league. I mean, let's be honest, all referee in this league has at least some sort of kind of bad reputation, and certainly Kelly this season, he has had a couple of bad games, but he's not like Toledo or Ted Uncle or even Mark Geiger as an example of just bad referee that MLS has. So yeah, I think it's a fair kind of appointment that MLS puts with Alan Kelly being the referee in this game. Atlanta United is looking to become the first Atlanta sports team to crown champions since the 1995 Atlanta Braves. Yes, Atlanta is a sports town that is known for losing, and certainly it is a sports town that also known for heartbreaking losing. I mean, I don't really kind of need to remind you of some of the most heartbreaking loss that Atlanta Atlanta sports fans has to suffer with some of their sports team, because you probably already know. And yeah, Atlanta United can definitely make history to become the first team in 23 years to be crowned champion as an Atlanta sports team. And that Braves team in 1995 is actually the only Atlanta team that has ever been crowned champion out of the other sports team that is there. And the other news is the weather. There is going to be a 100% chance of rain in Atlanta with highs of 42 degrees and lows of 36. But I think I probably shouldn't have put this on there because, you know, Mercedes-Benz Stadium is a dome stadium. Well, it's a retractable roof stadium, but most likely they're going to close the roof. So rain should not be a factor whatsoever. And also, it's not going to be 42 degrees inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium. They're going to have the heater on and just have perfect condition for that. And I think the other thing that I will also say in other news is that Atlanta Mayor actually planned to have a parade already before the MLS Cup final begins. And I'm just saying, that's kind of big time jinxing right there. And I hope that if Atlanta United does lose this MLS Cup final, I wonder if the mayor is going to get a lot of sticks in terms of just jinxing the team and say the fact that, yup, we know we're going to win this, so we're going to have the parade right away. So, yeah, let's just hope that that does not come back to haunt him, and that he's definitely going to get a lot of sticks if Atlanta does not win this MLS Cup final. Now, before I get to keys of winning, I'm going to actually talk about what I think is going to happen in this game and some of the tactics. Well, as I said about what I think is going to happen in this game is that, you know, it's going to be the atmosphere is going to be just incredible. Like, it's going to be something that we have never seen in MLS before for a cup final, and it's something that I really wish that I was part of, but I can, obviously. But in terms of the way the game is going to play, yeah, it's not going to be exciting. Okay, this could be one of the most boring MLS Cup, mainly because when you look at the tactics of this game, it's pretty clear that the Timbers are just going to bunker. Like, what the Timbers have done throughout this postseason and all the game that they have on the road doing this playoffs, they have all bunkered. Gio Savarese has clearly put on this kind of low block that he just wants to like bunker whenever he's on the road and somehow hit teams on the counterattack. And I just have a feeling that he's going to do it again in this match against Atlanta, because Atlanta has all this kind of attacking force that it just only makes sense, the fact that they're going to bunker in this game. Now, having said that, one thing I am worried about Portland in terms of their bunkering is that they need to be careful not just get pinned back throughout the whole game where they just cannot even get the counter attack going forward, because if their main tactics in this game is going to be bunkering and potentially play on the counter attack, give those balls to Valeri and Blanco in terms of the counter attack. But if they do get stuck in their own half, and if Joseph Martinez, Miguel Almiron, and Hector Villalba is going to run riot throughout the game and they just barely hang on for the majority of the time, it's not going to work out very well. And the other concern I have with the Timbers bunker is that it hasn't been a very good bunker, okay? I mean, it's not like the Timbers where they just do a typical bunker, a typical Jose Mourinho kind of park the bus tactics where everything is going to be fine. They're not going to concede goals. No, they actually have conceded goals. You know, back in that Sporting KC game, they conceded 2 goals in that game, although you could argue they probably could have conceded more if Sporting KC weren't very clinical. And then when you look at the Seattle game, again, they concede 3 goals in that game, and if Seattle wasn't that much more clinical in terms of that final third and also in general going forward on the attack, they could have easily conceded more goal. And even going back to the knockout round against FC Dallas, if FC Dallas could have been a little bit more clinical in terms of their chances, they could have conceded more than just the 1 goal that they conceded in that game. And what I fear about them bunkering against this Atlanta team is that they're about to face the best team in terms of attacking quality that they have faced throughout the playoffs. Atlanta attack is so much better than FC Dallas, so much better than Seattle Sounders, and so much better than Sporting KC. So with me seeing Portland kind of having a little bit problem in terms of the defensive bunker against those teams in the Western Conference, you wonder how in the world are they going to stop what many would say the best front three that this league has ever seen in MLS history. But we shall see how that is going to go. And certainly for Atlanta, they're going to most likely go on the attack and have a lot of the possession. You know, I know even though Tata Martino has used so many different formation and so many tactics throughout this playoffs and throughout this season, most likely he's going to just go forward and basically try to break down this Portland Timbers bunker. Now, one thing I am worried about Atlanta is that even though if they're going to have majority of the ball, it's going to be very easy for them to get frustrated. Let's say if they cannot get that goal after maybe 70 or 80 minutes. I think for Atlanta, and certainly what Tata Martino has got to tell his guys, is that don't get frustrated if things are not working out for you. Eventually there is going to be a crease. Eventually there's going to be an opportunity for you to basically put the ball into the back of the net. And I think the patience is what will really determine whether or not if Atlanta can score a couple of goals in this game against a very compacted Timbers team. And I know they definitely have the quality to do it. I definitely think that they will eventually find a way to break down this compact Portland Timbers defense. But one thing I am worried is that they're just going to get too frustrated when they couldn't do it in the first 60 or 70 minutes. And the other thing that I'm concerned with Atlanta is that they got to be careful not to get caught on the break. Like this Portland team, as soon as they go on the break, the number one or there's two targets that they usually go. They usually either go with Valeri or they usually go with Blanco in terms of that counterattack. So they got to make sure that when Portland goes on transition, they got to watch out for Blanco and Valeri, and they just need to shut down those counterattack. Because if Portland, when they go on the counterattack and able to breach this Atlanta defense, which is, you know, I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's not good. Okay, it's not like the best defense in the league. So if this Portland team can able to breach that back line, then yeah, this could be, or if that Portland team can breach that Atlanta back line, yeah, this could be a little bit problem, and that Atlanta could get easily caught out in the back. But now heading into the keys of winning, and really the final things that I'll say about this preview is that for Atlanta, what they would need to do, and there's three things that I will list in terms of the keys of winning. For Atlanta, do what you've been doing all season. You know, this season they've just been so dominant in terms of the attack, and they just find so many ways to break down opponent. Do it again in MLS Cup final. Do what you've been doing all season long, and you will, of course, will win this game easily. Score an early goal to get the fans in it. You know, if they score a goal in the first 10 or 15 minutes, then yeah, they will have a big chance of winning this, because if they score one goal, it could definitely lead to a domino effect where they can maybe get 2 or 3 goals, because that's when Portland will have to really just open up, and that's when Atlanta will take advantage and just plays right in the hands of Atlanta United. And also be solid in defense when dealing with the Portland counter. As I said before, they got to be careful not to get caught out and send too much men forward when they really need a goal, because they can easily get caught from this Portland Timbers counter that is just been so deadly throughout this playoffs. And as for the Timbers, what do they need to do to win MLS Cup? Well, they got to shut down the big three. They have to shut down Almiron, Martinez, and Villalba. And I guess shut down is a bit of an overstatement in terms of what I should say that they should do. Because let's face it, they're not going to shut down Almiron, Martinez, and Villalba. It is virtually impossible to do it. But at least limit the way that these three guys have influence in the game, then I think Portland will do well in terms of bunkering down. And they need to be lethal on the attack. You know, so far this season, when we see them on the attack and when they have those good opportunity on the attack, they have been very clinical. They need to do this again in this match, because if they get into a good position to score and if they don't put that ball into the back of the net, then yeah, they could be in for a long night, because they're not going to get a lot of opportunity in this game. And also, don't concede in the first 20 minutes. Like I said about how Atlanta, if they score an early goal, they can get the fans into it. Well, for Portland, if they concede early, then this could be a very long night for the Timbers, because the fans are just going to go crazy. The atmosphere is going to be incredible. I mean, we saw it with the Timbers conceding that first goal early against Sporting KC, and you saw how Children Mercy Park were absolutely rocketing, and there were a couple of times where you thought that Sporting KC was going to score that second goal, and the only reason why Timbers did not concede that second goal is that they just barely held on and got a little bit of fortune with some of the disallowed goals that happened in the first half. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen when Atlanta United plays along. I mean, they'll probably maybe still get some luck involved, but this Atlanta United front three will always find a way to break down this Timbers backline if they can score this first goal, and the atmosphere is going to just be too hostile. But yeah, that is pretty much it for my ultimate preview of this game. And if you want me to give you a prediction of this game, I think Atlanta will win this one. I think they'll just have enough, although Portland is not going to make it very easy for Atlanta to win this one. But I think Atlanta will somehow, at the end of the day, will come out as winner and able to break down this bunker that the Timbers are putting in. And, you know, the way that I see this game is that this could either be a very boring game because the Timbers are just going to bunker all game, or the fact that Atlanta United is going to run away with this one if they get the first goal, and that the Timbers bunkering is just going to be completely collapsed by then. But yeah, either way, guys, that is pretty much it for my ultimate preview of MLS Cup. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of the MLS Cup, and also make sure you give your prediction below of who exactly is going to win MLS Cup this year, who is going to crown the 2018 MLS title. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. And don't forget, there's going to be a stream tomorrow at 4:30 on this channel.